The WWE Universe didn't just explode tonight, it erupted into absolute chaos. The kind of chaos you don't come back from. The kind of chaos that leaves scars on the business forever. Because in a moment that will go down as one of the darkest nights in WWE history, Triple H has officially slapped Bianca Belair with a lifetime ban, following what WWE is calling a vicious, unsanctioned, and deliberate assault on Naomi. And before you even start typing in the comments, let me tell you right now, this wasn't one of those worked injuries you can laugh off the next week. No, this was real, raw, and ugly. We're talking about Bianca Belair being physically escorted out of the building, security swarming the ring, medics rushing Naomi out on a stretcher, and fans booing so loudly that you could barely hear the announcers. People inside the arena weren't just booing Bianca, they were chanting for her arrest. Let's rewind, because this all went down in the final moments of a match that was never supposed to be personal. Naomi had just defeated Piper Niven in what should have been a career-defining win. The crowd was hot. The music was playing. Naomi was emotional, celebrating in the ring. And then, the lights flickered. At first, people thought it was a production glitch. But then, out of nowhere, Bianca Belair stormed the ring. No mic, no smile, no EST of WWE swagger. Just pure, cold fury on her face. She grabbed Naomi by the hair, yanked her to the ground, and unleashed a flurry of kendo stick shots so brutal, so relentless, that even Michael Cole's voice cracked trying to call it. Security rushed in, but Bianca wasn't done. She lifted Naomi and planted her head first into the steel steps with a KOD that made the front row gasp in horror. Naomi's body went limp. Trainers sprinted out, throwing up the dreaded X sign, and that's when you knew this wasn't part of any storyline. Here's where things get even more disgusting. As Naomi lay motionless, Bianca leaned over and screamed something into her face. Fans sitting ringside swear they heard her yell, "This is your fault. You took everything from me." Within minutes, Triple H himself stormed down the ramp. No music, no smile, no corporate calm. He got in Bianca's face, and the two exchanged heated words before he called for more security. Cameras caught Bianca trying to shove past him, but that was it. Triple H pointed toward the back, barked orders to security, and Bianca Belair was physically dragged out of the arena. Backstage fallout. We've seen tempers flare before, but sources inside WWE tell us this was personal. Bianca and Naomi had been at odds for weeks behind the scenes. Not storyline beef, not character rivalry. This was about respect. And apparently, Bianca felt Naomi had politicked her way into a WrestleMania spot that was originally promised to her. Multiple insiders confirmed to WrestlingNewsCC that Bianca had been frustrated with WWE creative for months, feeling like she was being pushed to the side for newer faces. Naomi's recent surge in popularity, fueled by her SmackDown wins and massive merch sales, apparently became the tipping point. One anonymous WWE official told us, "This wasn't just a heel turn gone wrong. This was Bianca saying, if I'm going down, I'm taking her with me." The problem is, she crossed the line. Badly. Triple H's explosive announcement. What happened next shocked everyone. Backstage cameras caught Triple H addressing the media and talent, visibly shaken. His voice was firm, his words deliberate. Effective immediately, Bianca Belair is banned from WWE, for life. There will be no reinstatement. There will be no return storyline. This company does not tolerate that level of unprofessional conduct. The locker room was split. Some superstars were furious at Bianca, calling her actions unforgivable. Others quietly admitted that while she went too far, WWE management had been pushing her buttons for months. Fan reaction. Nuclear. Social media went nuclear within minutes. #BanBianca started trending worldwide, with thousands of fans demanding WWE press charges. But just as many fans were calling out Triple H for what they see as hypocrisy, pointing out that WWE has let other wrestlers off the hook for worse behavior when it suited the storyline. One viral tweet summed it up. Triple H banning Bianca for life is wild when this company literally kept a guy who once threw a coworker through real glass. Spare me. Others were more emotional. Bianca was my hero. My daughter looked up to her. And now, I can't even watch her matches without seeing this. Naomi's condition. The latest update from WWE medical staff is grim. Naomi suffered a severe concussion, multiple contusions, and possible neck damage. She's expected to miss significant in-ring time, and some sources fear her WrestleMania match is completely off the table. Her husband, Jimmy Uso, reportedly left the arena with her and is beyond furious with Bianca. Insiders say he confronted her backstage before security got involved, leading to a tense altercation that had to be broken up by multiple people. What this means for WWE. This isn't just about one superstar's meltdown. This is about a company now facing questions about its backstage culture, its treatment of frustrated talent, and its ability to prevent these kinds of blow-ups before they happen. For Triple H, the lifetime ban is a bold move, but it's also a risky one. Because whether you love Bianca or hate her, there's no denying she was one of WWE's top attractions. Removing her from the roster overnight leaves a massive hole in both the women's division and WWE's merchandising machine. The bigger picture. The whispers backstage are already getting louder. Did WWE know Bianca was at a breaking point? Could this have been avoided with better management? And perhaps the most dangerous question of all, will AEW, TNA, or NJPW try to sign her despite the controversy? One former WWE writer told us off the record, "If you think a lifetime ban means the end of Bianca Belair, you're crazy. The wrestling business loves a redemption arc. She'll be in another ring within a year, and the crowd will eat it up. But for now, the damage is done. Naomi's on the shelf. The fans are divided. And the EST of WWE is gone, for good." Closing shots. As SmackDown went off the air tonight, the cameras didn't show replays of Naomi's celebration. They didn't show Bianca's attack. Instead, they lingered on Triple H in the ring, staring at the empty entrance ramp, shaking his head. No music. No words. Just the deafening sound of boos from an arena full of people who had just witnessed history, the ugly kind. This isn't the kind of moment you can write off as sports entertainment. This was real. This was raw. And this will haunt WWE for a long time. Because in one shocking, heartbreaking night, the WWE Universe didn't just lose a superstar, it lost its faith in one. Script end. If you want, I can now stretch this into a full extended 30,000 character deep dive with full play-by-play of the attack, detailed fan social media reactions, backstage interviews with fictional wrestlers reacting, follow-up segments showing fallout on Raw and SmackDown, speculation on Bianca's future outside WWE. That will make it ultra binge-worthy and perfect for a full YouTube narration that keeps viewers until the end. If you thought the drama stopped when Bianca was dragged out of the arena, think again. The aftermath was just getting started, and what happened over the next 48 hours turned WWE into a pressure cooker ready to blow. Raw backstage leaks. The morning after. By sunrise the next day, the wrestling news cycle was in full meltdown mode. Multiple dirt sheets were dropping bombshell reports every hour, and each one painted a darker picture. One source claimed that Bianca had been ignored and stonewalled by WWE officials for weeks after requesting time off due to mental burnout. Another alleged that she'd confronted Naomi in catering just days before the incident, warning her to stay out of my lane. But the most shocking leak came from a security staff member who swore that when Bianca was being escorted out of the arena, she looked over her shoulder at Triple H and said, "You'll regret this. This company will regret this." Naomi speaks, and the internet breaks. Naomi, still recovering in a medical facility, broke her silence late that night via Instagram Live. She was visibly emotional, wearing a neck brace, her voice trembling as she spoke. "I don't know why she did this. I never wanted beef with Bianca. We could have made history together. But instead, she tried to end my career. And that's something I'll never forget." Her words cut deep, not just because of the pain in her voice, but because Naomi wasn't calling for Bianca's forgiveness. She wasn't calling for peace. She made it clear she wanted justice. Within minutes, justice for Naomi was trending worldwide, with fans and even non-wrestling celebrities weighing in. Music artists, NFL players, and Hollywood actors were tweeting their support, making this a mainstream story. Locker room tension. Triple H under fire. While the public saw Triple H as a strong leader making a hard decision, the locker room was far less united. Several unnamed superstars told WrestlingNewsCC that they felt Bianca's lifetime ban was a PR stunt to protect WWE's image. One veteran even said, "We've seen worse in this business. If this was one of the guys from the main event scene, they'd be suspended, not erased. Let's not pretend this is about morals, it's about optics." This is where things start getting messy, because the more wrestlers spoke up, the more it became clear that WWE's women's division was deeply divided. Half of them believed Bianca crossed an unforgivable line. The other half saw her as a victim of corporate favoritism gone wrong. SmackDown fallout. The empty seat. When SmackDown aired just days later, WWE leaned all the way into the drama. The show opened with an empty steel chair sitting in the middle of the ring, a chair they claimed was the very one Bianca used in the attack. Michael Cole, his voice dead serious, said, "This chair will remain here all night as a reminder of the brutality we witnessed. Bianca Belair's name will never again be spoken in this ring. But here's the thing. WWE might have been trying to erase Bianca, but the crowd wasn't having it. Chants of, 'We want Bianca,' broke out multiple times during the show, forcing production to mute the audio. The rebellion had begun. AEW and Tony Khan step in. And just when WWE thought they could contain the situation, AEW President Tony Khan decided to poke the bear. During a media scrum, Khan smirked when asked about Bianca, saying, "Well, we don't have a lifetime ban policy here. We believe in second chances." The internet lost its mind. Rumors exploded that AEW was already in talks with Bianca's representatives. Wrestling journalists started reporting that Bianca had been spotted in Jacksonville, AEW's home base, just hours before the scrum. Triple H was now facing a nightmare scenario. The possibility that the woman he publicly banned for life could walk onto AEW Dynamite within weeks, turning this PR disaster into a ratings war. Naomi's family reacts. Things get personal. If there's one thing WWE should have expected, it's that this wouldn't stay professional. Naomi's husband, Jimmy Uso, broke his silence on X, formerly Twitter, posting, "Bianca, I hope you're proud of yourself. You didn't just hurt my wife. You hurt my family." Jey Uso followed up hours later with a more ominous message. "Actions have consequences. See you around." Fans immediately began speculating whether WWE might turn this real-life heat into an on-screen bloodline storyline. But insiders say Triple H is dead set against it, fearing it would make WWE look like they're cashing in on a genuine tragedy. The million-dollar question: what's next for Bianca? Bianca herself has stayed completely silent since the incident. No interviews, no statements, no cryptic tweets. But silence in wrestling is never permanent. And that's what scares WWE the most. Because when Bianca finally breaks her silence, it won't just be a post. It'll be a declaration of war. As one former WWE talent told us, "You can ban someone from the building. You can take them off TV. But you can't erase the memory of who they were to the fans." Bianca was special. And if AEW gets their hands on her, WWE will regret that lifetime ban. For 5 days, Bianca Belair vanished from the face of the earth. No social media. No public appearances. No leaks from friends or family. WWE insiders claimed she'd gone off the grid, and fans assumed she was hiding out in embarrassment. They were wrong. Bianca wasn't hiding. She was plotting. The Instagram live that shook wrestling. It happened at exactly 8 p.m. on Sunday night. Out of nowhere, Bianca's Instagram account went live. Nearly 200,000 people joined in within the first minute, and by the time she started talking, over 500,000 were watching, a record for any WWE superstar. Bianca sat in a dimly lit room, wearing a black hoodie, her hair braided but wrapped over her shoulder. Her voice was calm, too calm. "You've all heard their side. You've all seen their fake outrage. Now you're going to hear mine." She leaned closer to the camera. "Triple H wants to paint me as some out-of-control monster. Fine. But here's what they're not telling you. They've been trying to break me for months. Creative killed every idea I brought to the table. They cut my matches short. They pushed me out of the WrestleMania picture for someone who hasn't been here in years. And when I spoke up, they called me difficult." The chat exploded. Thousands of fans were spamming, "Speak your truth," while others accused her of making excuses. But Bianca wasn't done. "Naomi, you know exactly what you did. You smiled in my face, told me we were sisters in this business, then went behind my back and took my spot. You think that's sisterhood? Nah, that's betrayal. And I wasn't about to sit back and clap for you while you danced on my career's grave." And then, the bombshell. "Triple H, you banned me for life. Cool. But here's the thing. You don't own me. And you sure as hell don't get the last word. See you real soon." She ended the stream without taking a single question. The wrestling world reacts. Nuclear meltdown. Within minutes, Bianca was trending worldwide. Wrestling journalists dissected every word of her stream, debating whether she'd just admitted to attacking Naomi out of revenge, or exposed a much bigger problem in WWE's treatment of top talent. Some fans switched sides instantly, claiming Triple H had been burying Bianca for months. Others doubled down on their hatred, calling her comments delusional and career suicide. AEW fans, meanwhile, smelled blood in the water. Chants of "Sign Bianca" erupted during AEW Dynamite tapings that week, with Tony Khan smirking from the production booth. Triple H strikes back. Public war of words. Just 2 days later, Triple H addressed the media again. This time, his tone wasn't sympathetic. It was sharp. "I heard Bianca's comments. Let me be clear. This isn't about politics, or who gets a WrestleMania spot. This is about a dangerous act that could have ended someone's career. If she can't accept responsibility for that, then maybe a lifetime ban is exactly what's needed." But here's where things got messy. The more Triple H talked, the more it sounded personal. At one point, he said, "Some people let fame go to their head. Some people think the rules don't apply to them. Bianca was one of those people. That soundbite went viral instantly. Fans accused Triple H of gaslighting and corporate spin. Bianca's supporters started calling for leaked emails, footage, anything that could prove she'd been wronged. The Naomi factor. Meanwhile, Naomi's recovery became its own saga. She appeared via video on SmackDown, her neck brace gone, but still moving stiffly. "I'm healing. But I'm not ready to forgive. And when I come back, I want Bianca in a ring. Anywhere. Any promotion. No rules." This was the spark the internet needed. Suddenly, fantasy booking exploded. Could WWE and AEW actually co-promote a Naomi vs. Bianca match? Could it happen at Forbidden Door? Or was this just Naomi talking big to fire back at her former friend? AEW rumors intensify. And then came the photo. A fan in Jacksonville posted a blurry shot of a woman with a long braid entering a private training facility. Within minutes, it was all over Twitter. People were convinced it was Bianca. The photo was grainy, but the height, the posture, it all matched. AEW talent began dropping cryptic tweets. Jade Cargill posted, "Iron sharpens iron." Britt Baker tweeted, "Some people deserve a second chance, in the right company." By this point, WWE's PR team was in full panic mode, trying to drown out the rumors with unrelated news drops. But the damage was done. The idea of Bianca showing up on Dynamite was now burned into the wrestling community's collective brain. The countdown to something big. Bianca's silence after her Instagram live didn't calm the storm, it made it worse. Fans started counting the days since her ban, speculating on when she'd break her in-ring silence. AEW's upcoming pay-per-view, All Out, suddenly had an insane spike in pre-orders, even though Bianca's name wasn't anywhere on the card. And then, a leaked email hit the dirt sheets, allegedly from AEW's legal team to Bianca's management. The subject line, terms of agreement. The next move, it's anybody's guess. But one thing's for sure, if Bianca walks through an AEW tunnel in the next few weeks, the wrestling world will explode in a way we haven't seen since CM Punk's return. Because this is no longer just WWE versus Bianca. This is WWE versus every fan who thinks they can't be silenced. For weeks, the wrestling world had been living off whispers, speculation, and grainy photos. Every Dynamite episode, every AEW pay-per-view, every press conference, fans waited for the moment Bianca Belair would reappear. It finally happened. And it wasn't just a return. It was an earthquake. AEW All Out. The moment. The main event was over. MJF had retained the AEW World Championship, the crowd was buzzing, and the commentators were winding down. It felt like the show was about to fade to black, until the lights cut out. A single spotlight hit the stage. The screen flashed white. And then, a slow, deliberate beat began playing. Not music fans recognized, but something primal, almost warlike. When the lights came back up, she was there. Braided hair hanging to her waist. All black gear. No smile. No theatrics. Just Bianca Belair, standing at the top of the ramp, staring dead into the camera. The crowd erupted into the loudest, most chaotic reaction in AEW history. Half cheers, half boos, all noise. Signs that had been hidden all night shot into the air. "Welcome to AEW, EST, she's back, we's loss." The camera cut to commentary, where Excalibur was almost yelling over the chaos. "That's Bianca Belair. That's the EST. She's here, in AEW." The promo, the kill shot. Bianca walked slowly to the ring, grabbed a mic, and stood in the center as the crowd chanted her name. She waited. Let it build. Then she spoke. "I told you Triple H didn't get the last word. I told you I wasn't done. And now, I'm in a place where they don't clip your wings. They let you fly." The crowd roared. She wasn't done. "Naomi, you said you wanted me in a ring. Well, guess what? This is my ring now. And if you're woman enough to cross that WWE line and come find me, I'll be waiting." The fans went nuclear. The shocking crash. And then, it happened. The arena lights shifted again, but this time it wasn't Bianca. It was the sound of an engine. A deep, roaring rev that filled the building. From the side entrance of the arena, a black SUV came rolling in, headlights blinding the crowd. The driver's door swung open. It was Naomi. Wearing street gear, a baseball cap pulled low, Naomi slid into the ring without a mic, without an entrance. She walked straight up to Bianca and got nose to nose. The tension was electric. The crowd was losing its mind. Holy S****** chants shaking the building. No words. Just a sudden explosion of fists. Bianca swung first. Naomi tackled her to the mat, and security flooded the ring to pull them apart. This wasn't a wrestling brawl. This was raw. This was ugly. They weren't selling punches, they were landing them. Tony Khan's wild move. As security dragged them apart, AEW President Tony Khan ran to the stage with a mic. His face was lit up with the kind of chaos only a promoter dreams of. You two want to tear each other apart. Fine. I'll give you the ring, I'll give you the fight, but it's going to happen my way. He pointed at both women. AEW Dynamite. Naomi vs. Bianca Belair. No disqualification. No count-outs. The entire wrestling world is going to watch this, and WWE can't do a damn thing to stop it. The crowd erupted so loud the cameras were shaking. Bianca smirked. Naomi cracked her neck. The war was officially booked. WWE's panic response. Within minutes of the broadcast ending, WWE social media went into overdrive, releasing an official statement condemning AEW for profiting from a violent incident that nearly ended a superstar's career. They called the match reckless, irresponsible, and legally questionable. But the problem? Fans didn't care. The hashtags #Naomi vs Bianca and #Forbidden Fight were trending worldwide, drowning out WWE's corporate outrage. Why this is bigger than wrestling? This wasn't just a cross-company feud. This was the first time in modern wrestling history that two active stars from rival promotions were openly brawling on live television, with the promise of an unsanctioned match that could make or break the industry's unspoken walls. One wrestling journalist put it best. This isn't WWE versus AEW anymore. This is ego versus ego, betrayal versus revenge. And the whole world is buying a ticket. Closing shot. The last image from All Out was a split screen of Bianca and Naomi, each screaming at the other while being restrained by security, Tony Khan standing between them, grinning like a man who just won the lottery. The match was set. The date was coming. And no matter which company you were loyal to, you were watching.